So
good evening, guys.
What's going on? It's expected
I just got finished doing some stuff.
Stronger, but
this is the live feed. They're going until 10.
But right now,
I'll do about 25 minutes.
And then weakening ever so slightly again before it makes landfall somewhere near Wilmington and sort of meanders around, or probably it'll sit for a day or so.
Oops, so sorry.
To the southwest. If
I dropped the phone. I apologize.
News, not in terms of rainfall, that's not really going to matter, but it would matter in terms of the storm surge and how long that lasts, and it would matter also in terms of the wind field would drop more quickly if the storm can get inland. You have to have hot water or very warm water for hurricanes to really keep going. So we are hoping that once it makes landfall, wherever it does, that it comes inland, because that'll make a big difference. Even as far north as our area, that stays near the coastline, we could have, again, a prolonged period of tropical storm winds. It eventually gets caught up. So right now, the thinking for the tides, generally, the next two tide cycles, minor. And then when we get into Thursday night, Friday morning, just after midnight tomorrow night, so about another, 27 hours away, 28 hours from now, still minor flooding, maybe getting up to the low end of moderate. But then Friday would be the big problem, depending on how much the storm weakens, or if it's
this is my local station,
just offshore, anywhere from the middle of the minor category, which is 5 feet above mean low or low water, all the way up to as high as 6.5 feet above mean low or low water. That's even starting to creep into the major category, another couple of inches. So that's the most worrisome time frame. And then not as big a worry Friday night into Saturday morning, but a concern again, because the astronomical tides are a bit higher again Saturday afternoon. So generally moderate to the edge of major flooding for a good number of areas here in Hampton Roads. A lot more, as I said, coming up.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Emergency shelters are open all across the region. There are a few dozen people at the I.C. Norcom High School shelter tonight. Now, that Portsmouth shelter can accommodate everyone, even those with medical needs.
13 News Now reporter Chanu Her is live for us in Portsmouth. And Chanu, I.C. Norcom is one of 3 shelters in the city of Portsmouth.
That's right, David. This is one of 3, and right now it is the busiest shelter across the city. It opened this afternoon at 1 p.m., but already there are about 40 people here. Now, I.C. Norcom is in Zone A, which the governor has recommended people evacuate, but leaders here think they should be safe because the school is on higher ground. If water gets into the building, there is a second floor they can move to. Right now, it is equipped to also shelter about 25 people who may need medical care. The director of social services says they're here to serve the city. They want people to consider coming here for safety.
Take this very seriously. And I know sometimes people look at the news and you say, oh, it's dead on track or something like that. But we also know that there's flooding and other things that happen way after that are very serious.
Now, there are 2 other shelters in the city, like we mentioned. There's one at Wilson High School, and then there's one at Churchland Middle School. That shelter, you can bring cats or dogs. We did also speak to families.
I will put a link to this after I'm done broadcasting.
13 News Now at 11 o'clock. Live in Portsmouth, Chanu Her, 13 News Now.
Well, the threat of flooding is very real for Virginia Beach. Parts of the city still recovering from the summer floods that inundated Pungo and other areas, and the risk of extreme tides has everyone concerned. Joining us now in the studio is Drew Langford with Virginia Beach Public Works. Very difficult summer for the people of Pungo, and the Rosemont Road area had a very tough time during Hurricane Matthew.
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane preps is something you do year-round. Tell us about it.
Yeah, and I know dodging the bullet's a cliche, but boy, we sure have on this one, I hope. But Virginia Beach is just, it's water everywhere. We tell people.
I live off of Rosemont.
I'm amazed how much water there is everywhere, and I'm just talking about the ocean or, Chesapeake Bay. But stormwater program for the city of Virginia Beach is huge. It's something we do 52 weeks a year. A lot of times people call, what are you doing to get ready for the storm? Well, we've been doing it for 51 weeks because there's just so many inlets.
Of course, I've never been down all the way Rosemont.
So we have to do a lot. So a lot of it's making sure the flow is there. So we should be sure the culverts and drains are clean, pump stations. So it's a lot. Added to that we've had one of our wettest summers on record this year, and that's been very tough. And particularly out there in the Pungo, you get out further out the county, you start going towards Creeds. They've literally at the back door of Back Bay, Currituck Sound, Atlantic Ocean, and the northern end of Outer Banks. And it's a real recipe for just tremendous flooding.
I toured Sherwood Lakes and Heritage Park after Hurricane Matthew. Heritage Park looked like Venice right after that. There's so many hard surfaces in Virginia Beach now with development taking place. What can homeowners do to reduce the risk of flooding in their neighborhoods?
Well, it's two things really. The Sherwood Lakes and Asheville Park, both
I found out down in North Carolina or South Carolina, there's a nuclear plant now they're worried about.
Projects, what can we do to make sure this thing doesn't happen? Now, on a smaller scale, what can they do in neighborhoods? A lot of it is, don't block the storm drains. We had a problem earlier this week with a neighborhood flooding.
Good evening, Pamela.
It turned out one of the residents had taken some landscape beams and covered the storm drain so everybody's baseball would roll around in the drain. So you got to keep the drains open. You got to keep them clear. If you're going to put things out for pickup, keep them 12 to 18 inches away from the curb. Those
no, I didn't get my
as far as the other
sand.
The city has learned a lot.
We see the sand.
It was like a 3-hour wait, and I couldn't get bags or sand.
We, I think, had about 420 tons of sand yesterday and today, and people. You're right. They appreciate it. They were out there. They were using it. It's been a big help. And like I said, I'm hoping based on the forecast, they're not going to need it as badly as we thought. But yes, that was one of the things we did that worked out very well, and people are very appreciative of it.
Drew Langford, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, anytime. I enjoy it.
All right, 13 News Now reporter Megan Freer is live in Sandbridge tonight. We'll check in with her coming up at 10 o'clock. Now to South Carolina. That's where people are trying to get away from the coast as Florence inches even closer with the passing seconds. Let's take you live to I-20. You can see most of the traffic on the roads is moving in one direction, right? Away from the coast. Lauren Thomas with our sister station, WLTX, is live tonight in Lee County, South Carolina, where some people are having trouble getting out. Lauren.
Yeah, they're still living. They're down there. They won't leave.
Yes, so we're on Eddie Watkins Road. This was a road that was washed out during the 2015 flood.
I agree with you, Lee.
Hurricane Joaquin during that year, and it still remains closed at this time. You can see some of the area here is just overgrown, but Lee County was hit pretty hard back in 2015 and again during Hurricane Matthew in 2016. So they're still trying to recover. So as you know, we could see about 10 inches of rain in this area. So people are keeping that in mind as they're preparing to evacuate. I-20 is packed, as you saw, as people are evacuating out of this area, but there are shelters nearby. Lee Central High School is the main shelter here in Lee County for people who might be evacuating from Virginia, evacuating from North Carolina and the coast here in South Carolina as they prepare for Hurricane Florence to make landfall. So anyone who is traveling on I-20 and needs a break, that shelter is open. It opened up tonight around 6 o'clock. But this area, it can't take any more, really, too much damage when it comes to these hurricanes that are coming through. As I said, Hurricane Joaquin in 2015 washed parts of this road out. Hurricane Matthew then again hit this area pretty hard, and now Hurricane Florence is expected to bring about 10 inches of rain to this area. But people are preparing themselves for evacuations and preparing themselves for possible rainfall, heavy rainfall in this area. But I'll send things back to you guys.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Take care. You're really in the almost the eye of all of that down there. Let's take another look at Florence. The National Hurricane Center will release new data. Their next advisory, that's due out at 11 o'clock tonight, and we will have that for you.
We are helping you stay ahead of the storm. Jeff and Evan have a fresh update as our storm mode coverage continues.
Should I leave the commercials running, guys? Yes or no? I'll have the radar build up after this. Oh, we're going to have a blank screen. Don't have to watch it. Yay. They're doing that. I'm not. All right. No, they haven't set landfall time. They did say that there was, here in Virginia Beach, we would start seeing it around 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I don't know what time it's going to hit down in the Carolinas. I've got a girlfriend down there, and she's in her 80s, and she needs to know, so I told her to watch this. I don't know if she's on here or not. Judy, if you're on here, text something. Nope, she's not on here. So, I guess we're just going to wait till they come back on. It says it's live. Live is still showing. Let me see here. Hang on. Yep, it's still running live. Yeah, I do too. Well, she lives 30 minutes from Raleigh, North Carolina. Let me make sure this is still on live, guys. I am not sure. Hang on here. Let me shrink this and see. Yeah, it's still on live. I'm pretty sure it says live here, so guess they're going through the commercials. I'm going to type in there and see if they're still on live. It's hard typing with one hand here. See what somebody says. I ask them, are they still live? I don't know what's going on. Rose Biss, yes. Read description box. It says down here, TV News Now presents a special. Oh, there it goes. Here we go.
All right, here's the very latest as we're continuing to track Florence, obviously. Even though the storm's a good distance offshore, it is closing in, you know, a slow movement.
At least they didn't show the commercials.
Over the next couple of days, so that's going to continue to batter the region. In case you're just joining us, want to just reiterate. Poquoson, Mobjack Bay, back down through Hampton, Fort Monroe, and back down again into Southside, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth under a tropical storm watch, meaning tropical storm force winds of over 40 sustained miles per hour are possible. Then in northeast North Carolina, those same winds are likely over 40, and then hurricane force winds likely in this pink area all the way across almost the entire coastline in North Carolina and a good portion of South Carolina as well. So again, we'll be watching for those winds, probably just on the border of whether or not they can get up to sustained at tropical storm force speed. Notice the storm, the outer bands, we've already seen a couple of very brief showers out ahead of it. I keep showing this picture because it really helps to tell the story of how the eye for a while was obscured, and notice that dry air that sort of was starting to get in. Now, the little bit of maybe re-intensification with a couple of those thunderstorms, it may be trying to get back to being a little more organized. But at least for a while, it dropped to 115 miles per hour, which isn't too far from a Category 2. We were hoping that trend would continue. But the thinking is, with all the warm water and still not a lot of shear, that it's likely to strengthen again at least a little bit until it gets close to the coastline, really slows down. That's as far as it makes it from tomorrow afternoon to Friday afternoon, and that'll bring up some of the cooler water as the huge waves batter each other around and mix things up in the ocean. So we should get some cooler water. That'll help it once it moves inland.
Not
It'll help weaken it. The only thing that could really mess everything up was if it stayed right near the coastline. But even then, half the circulation would be over land. It would still weaken, just not as rapidly. And then eventually everything gets carried inland. The big news, of course, with all that rain heading up into the central parts of the U.S. and the Ohio River Valley, That's going to cause problems, but the real big rainfall amounts will be here across North Carolina, and I think even down into South Carolina as well. Maybe a combination of that picture and this one, but you can see this 15 to 30 inch
You
rain
can
amounts.
see it says we're going to get
all the
4
way
to
back
8 inches
all the way
here.
to Columbia. That would cause devastating flooding. In Virginia, our concerns, some rainfall flooding, but that'll be heaviest south of North Carolina. Just showed you that. Peak surge values around here 5 to 6.5 feet above mean low or low water. Moderate, and in some places we think we'll get the low end of major. Winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour, gusting to 50, could bring down some trees. For the southern Outer Banks, rainfall still pretty significant, but the heaviest south and west of you, even then, peak surge values 6 to 9 feet above mean low or low water would cause major flooding. Winds of 60 to 80 sustained, gusting over 90 will also cause damage. Evan has a further breakdown here of what we can expect in terms of those winds.
That's right, Jeff, and we're basing this off of the European model, the ECMWF, because it really has done the best job of predicting where this storm is going to go. You can see there on the left-hand side of your screen, I've got several cities listed, mainly north to south: Williamsburg, Hampton, Franklin, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, Edenton, Elizabeth City, and Hatteras. And there at the top, I've got a time frame. Notice as we get into tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, the storm is still offshore, but some of those strong hurricane winds are likely down towards Cape Hatteras, where we have that hurricane warning. And even into Edenton and Elizabeth City, we're looking at winds of 53 and 49 miles per hour. And across Virginia, winds of 40 miles per hour, and that's why we're concerned. We have that tropical storm watch that is in effect for parts of the south side.
It's a lot of wind.
Hampton and Pocosin, and it's because of those winds that we're watching them coming in off the water out of the east. And even as we go into Thursday evening at 11 o'clock and Friday morning, the storm still offshore. So Hatteras, you're probably going to see a good 15 hours or more of those hurricane force winds, or very close to it. 52 in Edenton, 45 in Elizabeth City. And as the storm moves inland and starts to weaken, we'll see the winds around here starting to go down Friday evening and into Saturday. Jeff?
Good.
All right, and of course we'll be talking in much more detail, especially once the new update comes in, but we're totally refining things as we go through every minute and every hour. So I'll send it back to the desk right now, and we'll prepare even more information to come up soon.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, Jeff, thank you for
I
that.
did a
We,
report,
mentioned this
Pamela.
earlier, but there's another reminder. Last night's
My
Bachelor in
sunset,
Paradise
a tree
finale
across the
will
street.
air this Sunday at 2 until 4 p.m.
We are tackling a rumor floating around the Outer Banks when 13 News Now returns in storm mode.
All right, guys, I've been running it for about 18 minutes. I'm gonna let it run a couple more minutes. You guys need to know what's going on. The nuclear power plant down in the Carolinas, they said was in danger of being flooded out. Hopefully they come in with that. And if that happens, salt water on the core of the nuclear plant is not good. Also, they said that water could get as high as 12 feet. Somebody's got a microphone on. As high as 12 feet where the water's coming in. Can you imagine that coming at you, rising and above your house? Yeah, that's scary. To me, it's scary.
Yes, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at flight conditions in North.
They've already canceled flights out of the airport here. Or they're delayed, I should say. Come on, guys, get back out of the commercial. They've got people scamming people right now, asking for donations. So if you're seeing online, they want donations for the people here in Virginia all the way down to South Carolina. Check them out before you do that. And I had some guy come to my door saying he would give me a free estimate for repairs after the storm hit if I gave him $150. I told him where he could find his $150. Hey, you got that right. So let me see here. Let me shrink this screen down. See how long the commercials last. Sorry, I got to put on my computer glasses. In-depth hurricane report. East Coast. Potential impacts of Hampton Roads. Northeastern North Carolina information anybody in the storm path can use. There will be periods of black screen commercial break. Okay. Well, at least we don't have to sit here and watch the commercials. Is anybody else going to be feeling out here that is watching right now is going to be feeling the impact of this storm? Is anybody down in the North Carolina area, South Carolina area watching this?
Back right now with a live look at Hurricane Florence. You see it right there on your screen. Vice President Mike Pence cancels a planned trip to Georgia. The Vice President will stay in Washington to monitor the federal response to the storm. Georgia's governor declared a state of emergency after Florence's dramatic southern shift. You are helping us tell the story of the storm.
We are following the hashtag 13 storm mode. Alicia Ibrahimji joins us now with what you're sharing with us.
That's right, Regina. So we're still monitoring that Facebook Live. As I mentioned earlier, we're on Facebook Live right now. We're here to answer your questions and see your pictures and kind of find out what it looks like in your area. But first, I want to talk about this. This is something people have been asking about on social. What is the travel situation like? So this is Flight Aware. I wanted to look at Norfolk International. 29 delays today, which isn't too bad considering what we're in for. 4 cancellations total. So if we take a look at their Twitter, early this morning they tweeted Southwest Airlines, they canceled all flights to and from Norfolk tomorrow and Friday. They say more airline decisions will be announced as they become available. And then just a few hours after that, they said Allegiant Airline has canceled all flights as well. That's Friday, and they're going to resume service on Monday. We have not heard back from American Airlines. We haven't heard anything from JetBlue. But, of course, we're going to watch that on social and have all that information for you as soon as it comes out. Of course, continue to share your pictures and your videos with us using the hashtag 13stormmode.
Thanks, Alicia. Get our attention with the hashtag 13stormmode. You can also send your pictures to share it at 13newsnow.com.
Some new video here from Dominion Energy. Trucks are
All
being
they're
loaded
doing
with
is
equipment as
repeating
crews
what they
prepare
had
for
on the
Florence.
last
Linemen
one.
and equipment are on standby to respond to any outages. Strong winds, of course, and all of that rain could knock out power. But if the power goes out in your neighborhood, don't assume Dominion knows about that. Be the neighborhood hero. Pick up the phone. Report the outage to the number you see right there on your screen.
Our trash pickup was canceled for tomorrow, and then they said it's going to happen again, so they had to put trash cans out so they could pick it up.
There's a lot of it out there. The Verified team is able to put one rumor to rest right now. Word is the Cape Hatteras Electric Cooperative will turn off the power when the winds reach a certain speed. While the co-op is getting in front of this one, they verified this is false. They'll keep the lights on as long as the power lines will last. And by the way, if the lights do go out, report an outage to the number on your screen. The number is 866-511-9862.
It is the calm before the storm in Sandbridge. We are keeping you safe and informed during.
I've been down there. It's beautiful.
Stay with us. Our live coverage continues all evening.
I'm going to put a link up here to a webcam so you guys can see it. They have a webcam right off the beach. It is beautiful down there, Pamela. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'll put the web link to this on there. They're on till 10 o'clock, and then they're going to be on all day tomorrow. Or you can go to the National Weather Service webpage. They'll be on all day tomorrow as well. You live near South Carolina. You be careful, please. Oh my God, you be careful down there. Winds are going to be very bad, and the storm surge is even going to be higher. Okay? I'll put some links up here that can help you keep track. Would that be okay with you? All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'll put some links up. You guys be safe. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a couple minutes to put those links on this page, okay? God bless. Be safe.